Hello and welcome. My name is Kate Griffiths from Whole Self Leadership. I'm coming on today because I want to talk about a bottle and about the energies at the current time. I'm really aware that there are mixed feelings, as certainly here in the UK we start to open up and go back to a busier life that's outside more. And I know I feel that myself, because there's almost a pressure to be out there, to be in London or be meeting people and doing things. And is that listening to your essential nature? So there's the freedom that is coming, and I'm so pleased for my daughters to be able to play hockey regularly and things like that. And yet there's also this other thing, almost a sense of overwhelm. And so it's interesting that we're talking about this bottle today. How do you feel when you look at this bottle? It's a coral over a copper, and as you can see, it's very sparkly. What comes up for you? What do you notice? When I was talking to a group of people earlier in the week, some of them really didn't like the bottle. And you might not either, because it's an odd colour combination. The bottle is called RECONNECTION, and it feels really relevant for the time we're in, especially here in the UK, as things start to shift and open up. And what does that actually mean? Well, it comes from the word connect or connection, which comes from the Latin connectere, which means to join together, to bind together, to physically unite. And I know there's a real longing to be connected, to be able to hug people, to have that sense of touch back more obviously than perhaps it was. And yet with it, there's been a sort of tense pressure and feelings, maybe even overwhelm. So notice, take a minute, take a breath. Notice what is present in your own body, in your own system right now. And let me introduce a second bottle that may help. It relates to the colour in the bottom of the first bottle, the copper. It's when this bottle was created, or that bottle was created, RECONNECTION was created. It was considered that working with the earth element would help you really get into the energy of the bottle. And that makes a lot of sense, because the more grounded we are, the more we can expand upwards and outwards. But as I was tuning into the energies today, I was called to share this bottle, or this spritzer with you, which is very similar, but it's actually called Uriel, after Archangel Uriel. And he is really good at helping us to heal. And also, he's responsible for the earth element, so there is a strong connection to earth. And his symbol is a gold pentacle. And another aspect of the earth is materialism, money. So it's interesting that I've been having lots of red conversations around productivity, being results oriented or results focused of late with clients, and wondering, where's that coming from? When that is more prevalent, sometimes what really helps is to connect into the earth, the earth, which is so abundant and provides for all of our needs. So we can rise above that fear. Because as I was really focusing on what does connection mean, I was drawn to the second gene key, which is Richard Rudd's work around the I Ching, sort of a modern updated version of it. And the second gene key is very feminine, as is coral. There's a real femininity to a coral colour. But it's really about bringing spirit into form. So you could argue that, when we think about the importance of that it should come first rather than the masculine. And there's some debate that actually originally in the I Ching it did come first, and then in the 2000 or so years that we have lived in a more patriarchal society, at some point somebody changed the order. And I think that's interesting as well, because it brings in the dynamic around power. How do we feel about power? And you can really see that when we look at it in colour terms, because it's similar in colour. In that, in the colour system, the first bottle is this one, the sun bottle. Notice how you feel about that. And the second bottle is this one, which is the moon bottle. So the first bottle represents the masculine energy, and the second bottle represents the quintessential feminine energy. So it's mirroring the gene keys. And you have to ask yourself, which came first? The Son of God or the Mother of Jesus? So again, we need to sort of think about, what does all of that mean? And it's part of this wider question of, well, we are all part of the oneness, even if you've forgotten it for a while, or you're feeling lost or disorientated, because dislocation, which is the shadow of the second gene key, can also mean dismemberment. And I kind of, when I think about that word, I think of discombobulation and grief, you know, when you lose a limb. Not that I have done, but often you can sort of feel where it was. It's sort of like the phantom limb. It's the same when we lose somebody. We can feel their presence, or we lose a beloved pet. We're aware of them around. And what if all of this is what we want to feel as a spirit in a human body, and also what if it's all just an illusion that keeps us from expanding into our full essence? Because we are all powerful, and yet many of us have had not great experiences with power. And so that's what brought me to my other two spritzers for today. This one, which is called Gold Dragon, and really represents the masculine and raw power. And how do we feel about that? Oh, I don't always feel terribly comfortable about it. You know, it's almost like force. We will, you know, forge our way through the mountains, get a railroad down, get, you know, people through, no matter what the cost, no matter if we destroy, you know, local indigenous populations in the name of progress, which is why you need its partner, Coral Dragon, which embodies the divine feminine, and it softens that raw power, makes it more digestible, I suppose, and then allows for the full integration. Because I believe we are in continuous connection with all that is. and anything else is just an illusion. Either we want to feel, or where we are, sometimes it's like an interference, because if our vibration is low, then something comes in and it pulls us down, the interfering vibration and energy. And so then we end up in these repetitive patterns that we recognise, and those around us that know us the best and really love us recognise too. That was interesting. I thought that the whole camera was going to go there, as you may have noticed. And so it's frustrating, and yet none of that's real, not when we're living in our essence. So the invitation is to reconnect with the truth of who you are, using either the bottle or one of those 3 spritzers. So I wish you a wonder-filled week wherever you are, and look forward to connecting soon.